Is this the best value that Epiphone has ever offered? Today we're taking a look at the Gibson Custom Shop Collaboration 1959 ES-355. Stay tuned. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name's Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag. Check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, and of course you can shop with us online, in store, or over the phone. So don't let the headstock fool you. This is not a Gibson. It is an Epiphone, and it is another Gibson Epiphone collab, this time with the Gibson Custom Shop. They've done this before. For 2024, they've doubled down, and they have changed the headstock to match the Gibson open book headstock versus the Epiphone open book headstock. And yes, we were aware of that for everyone who's pointed that out on maybe some of our other videos on this channel, which maybe we did on purpose, FYI. So,
Yeah.
So this is I don't know what to think of this guitar. Let's talk about the specs. So it's a 355. That means it's basically like a custom version of a 335. It's a 59 version of this, so we're seeing it in this beautiful red color that's not quite cherry, kind of watermelon-ish red. It's got gold hardware, an ebony fingerboard, not an ebony colored, an actual ebony fingerboard. It's got the multiply binding throughout. It's got the requisite 59 features like the long pick guard and the gold Grover tuners, the split diamond headstock inlay, all of that jazz. And then they say it also has USA Gibson custom bucker pickups, all with a case for the price of $12.99 as of right now. What do you think, Coop?
Sounds too good to be true. Sounds like a lot of hoopla. Right? SpongeBob heads out there, the OG, the heads. So, yeah, they took what was already occurring with like the 59s that we demoed recently. They did double down. They changed the headstock, which was everybody's biggest complaint about it. It doesn't say Gibson on it, but it says Epiphone, and they used the same split diamond and the same shape that's, Yeah.
They've also done a few other things that, like, if you look closely, you'll notice. So Cooper noticed on the back of the headstock, there's a imprinting, a impression, if you will, of this kind of double diamond logo, which is also on the Gibson style label inside. So it's not an Epiphone style label, it's an OG Gibson style label in the F hole, and that logo is again repeated, and it shows Gibson and Epiphone. So that's kind of their collaboration logo that they're using. But yeah, so it's cool. I do think there's something really funny about the fact that it's an Epiphone guitar with the Gibson headstock. Now I know there's a lot of fans out there that are loving that Gibson and Epiphone have done this. I have some thoughts about it as far as whether it's a good idea in the long term, but what I really find funny about it is the fact that the satirical Instagram account of Chipson long ago created a fake product that would fit on top of your Epiphone headstock and turn it into a Gibson headstock, because at the end of the day, that's what people wanted. And effectively, Gibson has done that, and I find that to be great.
Yeah, so my thoughts on this guitar, just honest thoughts. Playing it, it feels really good. It sounds really good. I think it looks really good. I think, and this is pure speculation, I have a feeling most higher priced Epiphones just in general, I don't think this is going to be a limited thing. I think this is going to keep going. And I think that it might be to grow the sales of Epiphone while being able to justify raising the prices on Gibson.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if it will it eat into Gibson sales? I think there's a buyer that cares that it says Gibson on the headstock regardless of what the shape of the headstock is. And I think there's buyers that want to have a Gibson and can't afford a Gibson And for those buyers, this is a heck of a lot of guitar for the money.
Yeah.
And one can argue a way better value than anything Gibson's even close to offering with these specifications.
Yeah.
Before we get any further into it, you've played it. Let's take a listen to how it sounds, and then we'll talk about why it may sound like that on the other side. Check it out. Okay, so there you have it. You've played it. It feels great. Setup on it's good. It doesn't have the typical Epiphone neck that we've talked about in past videos. It's a 50s, shaped neck. It has custom Bucker pickups. And okay, this is where it gets interesting, because this guitar is currently selling for $12.99 with the case. Custom Bucker pickups on Gibson's website with gold covers currently sell for $289 a piece, which means if these are the exact same custom Buckers, then this is over $500 just in the pickups, not to mention the CTS pots and everything else that the specifications of this say that it has, which is a lot of the price of this guitar.
Yeah.
Which is surprising if that is indeed the case.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the case?
I don't know. I think they could be. Again, this is all
speculation.
This is all speculation, as I mentioned before. However, at this rate, what you can do is, if you have a 355 or if you got a 335 or something that's Gibson USA, it's cool because you can take those pickups out and just
put these in, put those in here, sell this, and and you're coming out ahead. So I read through all of the information that Gibson gave for this guitar and for these pickups. Here's how they're describing these pickups. They're calling them USA Gibson custom Buckers. And I find that curious because usually everything else says Gibson USA, on everything. And I don't know if that's a typo. I don't know if maybe that's on purpose. I don't know if these are actually made in the USA and they are the exact same $289 gold covered custom Buckers that are available, or that they're built exactly like the ones that are in my custom shop Les Paul, or if they are USA spec'd, made overseas, and that's what's keeping the cost down.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with an import guitar, it's a game of margins, right? It's a game of how can you deliver the very best guitar, and the manufacturer makes money on it, and the dealer makes money on it, and everything has a margin to it, from the manufacturing cost, your labor costs, to all of the parts. So people often have wondered, like, how can guitars that are built overseas have Grover tuners, actual USA Grover tuners? Because there's an expense there. And in economies of scale, you have to make it work. Same thing with these pickups. If they're the same pickups that are being made in their USA facility and then they're shipped to China to be put into this guitar, and they're still able to produce it at a certain economies of scale, that's very impressive and very surprising.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever is in here, and we haven't disassembled this guitar to see what it says on the bottom part, it's an impressive guitar regardless for the money.
Yeah.
Now, some people are going to balk at $12.99 for an Epiphone, and you've kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
But when an ebony fingerboard?
Ebony fingerboard and those pickups and the feel and the sound, it's legit.
Yeah, with a case.
With the case.
You cannot, and so here's why I'm saying this is a better value than anything Gibson is kind of putting out, assuming all of these features are kind of what they are on face value. You can't get a 335 with custom buckers short of the custom shop, which is going to run you north of $6,000.
Yeah.
Now it's not nitro finished; it's a satin poly finish, but it feels really great. And it's got all of the features to honestly just like you should run to our store and buy this guitar right now.
Yeah.
Because for $12.99, it's a really good guitar.
Yeah. If you're a player of this style of guitar and you're out on the road and you don't want to bring your custom shop with you or whatever, this is a fantastic option. It's also, I mean, it's got so many potential suitors, right? This would be a fantastic step-up guitar for somebody who started with one of the lower-end Epiphone semi-hollows, but also just in a studio, if you need an extra, you're playing solid bodies, you want to get this sound and recording, whatever, this is a really good value for something that I think, no matter what the spec sheet says, just playing it and listening to it, it's very good.
And I've always loved like a red with gold 345, 335. And I think part of it's Marty McFly's fault. I'd love for them to do a version of that guitar like this, because listen, if you make this stereo with a Veritone and a Bigsby, it's Back to the Future. And so I've always dug this look, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of guitar for the money. Plays great. It's got all of the features, all the feature boxes are just checked. Yeah. And the price is right. I mean, even with inflation, $12.99 for a guitar is really good.
Yeah, it's good.
So there you have it. Is it the very best value that Epiphone has ever made? And if anyone's had a chance to maybe disassemble or dive deeper and the answers to some of these questions we're posing, let us know in the comments, if you know, and if you don't know, what you think otherwise. And here's a big thing, and I do want to know what people think. Is Gibson diluting their brand by doing this, or are they moving Epiphone upscale, or both? Both can be an option. Sometimes it is both. Sometimes it's one or the other. So let us know your thoughts below. And if they want to get their hands on a guitar like this, Cooper, what can they do?
You can go to alamomusic.com. You can look at all the Gibson and Epiphone stuff, and then you can decide what you want, and then give us a call or chat with us or email us or come into the store. No buy button, but that doesn't matter. It's not going to get in your way. We'll help you get it.
Yep, absolutely. And there is all sorts of buying options and financing available. We want to make sure you get the guitar of your dreams and the right guitar at that. So when you have any kind of geeky questions, we are here to answer those for you as well. If you're new to our channel and you like guitar geekery and very funny commentary, you should come back for more. And you can do that by liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and just cruising over and searching from time to time. So we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.